The Zodiac Killer, America's most elusive serial killer. Full documentary script, real story. Opening scene. Dark screen. Slow, eerie music fades in. Narrator. Calm, deep voice. Northern California. Late 1960s. A time of peace, love, and cultural revolution. But beneath that surface, something far more sinister was unfolding. A killer was stalking the night. He struck without warning. He left no clear identity. And worst of all, he wanted the world to know he existed. He called himself the Zodiac. Chapter 1. The First Killing. Sound, distant wind, quiet road. Ambience. December 20th, 1968. On a lonely stretch of Lake Herman Road near Benicia, two teenagers, David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen, parked their car. It was supposed to be a quiet night. Instead, it became the beginning of a nightmare. A car pulled up beside them. Moments later, gunshots rang out. Both teenagers were killed. No suspects, no clear motive, just silence and fear. At the time, police believed it was an isolated tragedy. They were wrong. Chapter 2. The Killer Returns. Music intensifies slightly. July 4th, 1969. Another couple, Darlene Farron and Michael Mageau, sat in a parked car in Vallejo. A vehicle approached slowly. A man stepped out. Without warning, he opened fire. Darlene was killed. Michael survived, barely. But this time, something changed. Less than an hour later, a man called the police. His voice was calm, controlled. He confessed to the attack. And then he said something chilling. "I also killed those kids last year." For the first time, the killer spoke. Chapter 3. Letters from a Monster. Paper rustling sound effect. On August 1st, 1969, three major newspapers, including the San Francisco Chronicle, received nearly identical letters. Each contained a confession, details only the killer could know, and a coded message, a cipher. The writer demanded front-page publication, or he would kill again. This wasn't just murder. This was psychological warfare. Chapter 4. The First Cipher. The cipher, later known as the 408 cipher, was eventually solved by a civilian couple. Its message shocked the nation. The killer claimed that murder was enjoyable, that it was more thrilling than hunting animals. But the most anticipated detail, his identity, was missing. It ended with a taunt, a game. The Zodiac wasn't just killing. He was playing. Chapter 5. Lake Berryessa. Sound, water, birds, sudden silence. September 27th, 1969. At Lake Berryessa in Napa County, a young couple relaxed near the water. Then, a figure approached. This time, the killer wore a costume, a black hood, a strange symbol, a chilling presence. He tied them up. Then, he stabbed them. Cecilia Shepard later died from her wounds. Brian Hartnell survived and described the attacker in terrifying detail. The Zodiac had evolved, more calculated, more theatrical, more dangerous. Chapter 6. Murder in the City. October 11th, 1969. The killer struck in the heart of San Francisco. Taxi driver Paul Stein picked up a passenger. Moments later, he was shot dead. But this time, there were witnesses. Police even encountered a man matching the description. But due to a critical error in the radio report, he was released. The Zodiac had slipped away. Again. Chapter 7. The Media Game. After the murder, the Zodiac began sending more letters. Inside one envelope, a piece of Paul Stein's shirt, Proof. In another letter, he introduced himself clearly. This is the Zodiac speaking. The name stuck. The fear spread. He threatened school buses. He threatened children. He threatened chaos. And the media amplified every word. Chapter 8. Inside the Mind. Who was the Zodiac? Experts believe he was intelligent, manipulative, obsessed with control. His ciphers suggested knowledge of codes. His letters revealed arrogance. He wasn't just committing crimes. He was building a legacy. Chapter 9. Unsolved Puzzles. The Zodiac sent multiple ciphers over the years. Some were solved, others remained mysteries for decades. One cipher, sent in 1969, was only cracked in 2020. Even then, it revealed no name, only more questions. Chapter 10. The Suspects. Many suspects have been investigated. The most famous, Arthur Lee Allen. He fit certain patterns, but evidence never conclusively proved his guilt. DNA didn't match. Fingerprints didn't match. And so, the case remained open. Chapter 11. A lasting obsession. The Zodiac case became a cultural phenomenon. Books, documentaries, and films, including Zodiac directed by David Fincher, kept the mystery alive. Amateur investigators joined the hunt. Online communities analyzed every clue. The obsession never faded. Chapter 12. Modern Hopes. Today, new forensic technologies offer hope. DNA analysis. Genetic genealogy. These methods have solved other cold cases. Could they finally reveal the Zodiac? Perhaps. But time has erased many clues, and the killer may already be gone. Chapter 13. The Victims. Behind the mystery are real lives lost. David Faraday, Betty Lou Jensen, Darlene Ferrin, Cecilia Shepard, Paul Stein. Their stories deserve to be remembered, not just the killers. Final chapter. The Unsolved Legend. Music slows, becomes haunting. The Zodiac Killer was never caught, never identified, never brought to justice. He didn't just commit crimes, he created fear. He controlled headlines. He turned murder into a message. And decades later, that message still echoes. Ending line.
More than 50 years later, the Zodiac Killer remains unknown. But somewhere in the shadows of history, the truth still waits to be uncovered.